Tonight, I broke up with my boyfriend because he kept joking about murdering me. During our first weeks of dating, he joked too much for comfort that he was going to murder and dismember me and dispose of my body. Maybe out of context, maybe I'm being dramatic. He is very sarcastic and has dark humor, but to me it wasn't funny and caused me anxiety because I know the statistics. I talked to him about this, and I told him repeatedly, stop joking about killing me. He kept on with the jokes until I finally told him that those jokes literally scare me. He apologized and seemed to feel bad that his jokes made me scared of him. Tonight, we were over 3 hours late to meet with his brother to play games, watch movies, and eat dinner. When I was talking to him about us being late, I noticed he sighed deeply, clenched his fist, and looked down at it, as if he was making the conscious choice to not punch me. Then, as I was saying goodbye to his brother, he comes into the room and says, she should say her permanent goodbyes. I asked him what the hell, and he said that it was a joke. I asked, how's it funny? What's the punchline? Please explain to me how that was supposed to be funny. And he couldn't answer. I didn't want to get in the car with him. I walked off, and thankfully my roommate picked me up and drove me home. He called me later on, and I told him that I'm done. He's a good man, other than the jokes about killing me. We talked about and agreed that he wouldn't joke about killing me anymore, but then he did it again tonight and doubled down that it was just a joke and that actually I'm the problem. I started telling him again how often women are killed by their husbands and boyfriends, and that's why the jokes bother me so much, but he interrupted me to say, fuck you. So I hung up and blocked him. All of this really sucks because my roommates say that I should just talk it out with him and give him another chance because they can tell that I really like him and he really likes me. But I already did that. I thought we were past the homicide jokes, and then he did it again tonight while he was angry with me, and it caused me this awful feeling in my gut that I needed to not get in the car with him and to get away from him. I've had boyfriends and male friends in the past. None of them have ever made jokes about murdering and dismembering me, especially multiple times after I told them to stop. Have you had friends or boyfriends that make jokes like this? Where is the humor in it? What would you do in this situation? In the comments, Callisti says, you've already given him chances. He agreed to change and then broke his word. So not only is he verbally abusive and potentially violent, he also breaks his word. You did nothing wrong. There is no humor in what he said, and abusers frequently excuse their abuse in the two ways that he did. First, they say it was a joke. If you don't accept that, they try to blame it on you. You don't want to become a statistic. There are plenty of men out there who will never threaten to kill you. You have done exactly the right thing. Don't feel bad about anything you've done. My one piece of old woman advice to you is to be very strict around dating men when it comes to threats. Joke or not, if a man threatens you in any way, tell him that if he does it again, it is over. Don't tolerate any kind of threats or violence, ever. If the man is actually a danger, he will see tolerance as a sign that he can violate your boundaries without consequences. Just remember, there's a lot of murdered women that once said, oh, he'd never do that to me. Luna says, when I was a teenager, I would go driving around country roads and around our smallish towns with male buddies from school. I'm a woman, and one night, my really good friend thought it was a good idea to make a joke about chopping me up with an axe. I got really terrified because it was just an overwhelming and scary thing to hear, and I started to cry. The immediate regret was obvious in my friend's eyes, and he genuinely looked mortified for having scared me so bad. He started apologizing and saying that it was just a stupid joke and reassured me. In the moments after making his stupid attempt at humor and seeing the impact it had, he felt remorse and wanted to correct his behavior. Your ex did not do this. Or if he did, he immediately repeated the scary behavior again anyways. My friend never made a joke like that again. Men who actually care about us will respond empathetically to our fear response and will want to do whatever it takes to ensure that we will feel safe around them, especially if it's as simple as refraining from making dumb jokes. I hope you never have to see this creep again, and good for you for sticking up for yourself. Back up to the post, there is an update that says, thank you everyone for your overwhelming support. Also, thank you for the important links and resources in the comments. I've learned a lot and shared them with my friends. I love this sub. I haven't heard from him and he hasn't caused any trouble since the breakup. If anything comes up, I'll update this post. We don't really get an age for the woman writing this post, but I'm gonna guess that it's like early 20s, because I think the common sense thing is to assume that people get enough sense to be like, they won't listen to me, they won't shut up about stupid shit that I've asked them 1,000 times before to stop mentioning. But the usual jokes that you want them to stop talking about are not like straight up murder and dismemberment. I just have to give so many benefits of the doubt because I'm curious why Opie isn't just talking about this with her friends and being like, he keeps joking about murdering me. And what the hell is up with the roommates saying, you should just talk it out with him and give him another chance because I can tell that you really like him and he really... What's wrong with you? Is that roommate the only person you've talked to about this? Because no sane person is going to say, give him another chance here. Any sane person's going to say he's a lunatic, get the hell away from him at best, and he's actually going to murder you at worst. I just feel insane sometimes reading these posts. And now, onto the update, 11 months later. I hope I'm not breaking any subreddit rules by posting an update, but I thought that this sub would like this update from all the feedback that my original post received and all the messages that I read requesting an update. Thankfully, I've moved across the state since then and have not seen him since. The last time I spoke with him, over the phone, I made it very clear several times. You promised that you would stop making jokes about murdering me, but then you did it again. You realize the greatest threat for women is being murdered by their boyfriends and husbands. They are most likely to be killed by men they know. And he says, hey, OP, fuck you. What a psychopath. Actually, no. Fuck you. What a great defense. What a cool, normal individual. You should give this guy another chance, actually, OP. So I hung up. I ghosted him after that. I blocked him on everything and alerted my employer that if he showed up, he was a threat. However, he sent me an email in an attempt to, I don't know. I'll leave you to draw conclusions because I really can't make sense of it. I'm sorry if I quoted it incorrectly. I'm on mobile. This is the email that he sent me. Dear my name, spelled with ####. He got my name wrong multiple times and it became a joke, which is what he refers to here. I don't really know how to go about saying that I am empathetic, quote-unquote, as I'm a me-pathetic mess. But I do feel, I can understand, and I have recognized. My actions have consequences, clearly. I thought I was being reasonable. I gave you time and space. I wasn't sure how long I needed to wait, or if I should just do nothing, but I didn't know that you had even blocked me until today, as I had not called, and only texted that first day, expecting nothing back, yet now I understand. I should have known. I tried to call you tonight though, despite my better judgment, and that's when it hit me hard. It's been almost 2 weeks. I know you don't want to be in a relationship with me, but I wanted to end this civilly. I could hope at least. On terms that we both could live on, amicably, or me, since I didn't have a choice. That terrible night was booze-ridden, and unfortunately for me, the end of us. I didn't get any chance, but I made my choices, and I was cut out of you, like the cancer I became, regardless of how much I remember, due to my memories being cut down by Irish whiskey, and I hazed focused. You ghosted me. Now I know how that feels, as I have done that to others. I deserve this. It's interesting because you mentioned to me that I never had to change my number in my last relationship over 5 years ago because all I needed to do was block them. Damn. History not only repeats itself, but can be fucking ironic. I lost one of my best friends. I lost you. I've been hurting, OP. This is even worse. When I realized you don't even want to communicate with me, I would ask, why? But I know it's because you hate me. What you think of me, what you think I am. Who likes Andrew Tate? Nobody. I embody that nobody. I am hate, I am Tate. I obviously have a lot of growing up to do. I wasn't aware of just how much. I do not regret you, or the experiences I shared, which were awesome, and different than all the treasures that I'd experienced with another soul. We had so much in common, and yet the few things we didn't shaped itself into a shadow that blocked our light. Your light. I regret not realizing that perhaps I was just not ready. You are so beautiful and awesome, OP, and I hate hurting you in any way, especially since you deserve so much love, and instead I gave you fear. You, however, only gave me happiness. You made me feel wanted, so much so that it blindsided me. I haven't been that happy in a very long time, and maybe that's why I fell for you so hard so fast, as I had been in the dark for years, and your essence got me as high as a kite. I could see the sky for once. I was flying. I had been grounded since I lost my wings a few years ago, and it showed. I started sinking in the sands of time, in bottles, in gates drowned by fears. My brother lost a friend because of me. I lost because of me. I may be a good person that does bad things, but I did a bad thing to a good person. It scares me to think that when we do, and it will inevitably happen, as it's a small town, run into each other, you will fear me, and I will fear you. I don't want that, but I made my grave, and I suppose I need to sleep in it. I will not call you again, as I did tonight, as much as I want to. You can always call me, but I'm aware that this is about as real as my dreams coming true. I have respected your space. I haven't tried to suffocate it or breathe your air. I just wanted to bury myself with a little dignity today, considering that I must be public enemy number one. I'm embarrassed to admit that running into your roommates or even co-workers makes me feel uncomfortable. That I did to myself and you. I'm sorry, OP. I don't know what else to say. I know you'll find someone, sooner or later, who will treat you with respect and make you feel loved, but I am not him. I failed. But you will have that. As much as I don't want to think of it, and you deserve it, as much as I didn't commit to that. I know you think that I don't love you. You can ghost me, you can not respond. I don't think you will anyways, and maybe you won't even read this, which is okay. I needed to say my piece to rest at sea. But you can't take away how I felt or how I feel at all. Maybe that was the problem. I was too much. You thought I was just a blimp in time anyhow, and now that blimp can finally sink in time. Edit. Thank you for all the support. I love this sub. No way he will ever hear from or see me again. I now live in a new town, new home, and with a great man that respects and appreciates me. In the comments, someone says, people talking about this man being a sociopath, psychopath, and narcissist, but to me, he sounds like a generic boy that's trying to verbalize his emotions for the first time. I don't know how old he is, but it reads like the letters from my first boyfriend at 20 years old, trying to be poetic and funny and failing at both, and just word-vomiting emotions without fully understanding them. Yeah, that's just a normal dude learning that his actions have consequences for the first time. And OP says, he's like 40. Another commenter says, I'm so glad that you're safe. I have wondered about you from time to time. OP says, thank you. I'm doing great. Another commenter says, this reminds me of how an ex responded to me many years ago when I broke up with him. I broke up with him because I started getting this weird gut feeling that I didn't feel comfortable being alone with him, and he was getting very possessive and a bit manipulative. I even had a close family friend reach out to me and hesitantly share that she was not sure why she was worried about me being alone with him. He responded, via texts, by trying every manipulation tactic in the book, from telling me he was sobbing and to please take him back, to saying that I had just been using him and was a liar, to telling me he didn't know how he was going to go on with his life. His reaction made me realize that I absolutely made the right choice. OP says, thank you for sharing. It's so important to trust our instincts. Another commenter says, him talking about alcohol makes it make sense. All the more reason to keep him blocked though. If he's making those jokes while drunk, there's a non-zero chance that he actually did fantasize about killing and dismembering you or someone else. And OP says, most of the time when he made the jokes, he was totally sober. I read through your first post. The dating phase is when you get to know somebody. Take your time to do that before more commitment. He's a nutcase. I doubt he ghosted anybody, and he's trying to say things that make himself look better. And OP says, "We weren't together for long. I was initially attracted to him because he was cheerful, happy, charismatic, kind, considerate, and handsome, but then the mask fell off." Jesus, this 40-year-old that's still in the talking/dating phase jumps straight into murdering and dismemberment jokes. Jesus Christ. There has to be a 20-year age gap. There has to be. Come on, like, no one would be, like, cool with that in such an early dating phase. I just want to thank OP for actually breaking up with him, blocking him, and moving to another city, because at 40 years old, this behavior is beyond unacceptable. It's no wonder he's dating down so far. He is never going to change. He doesn't want to change. That email was so insanely unhinged, and I think he needs to go spend some time talking to a mental health advisor, because he seems not all there. A 40-year-old who is older than Tate, that is a Tate fan, is insane. A blimp in time. I am Tate. Okay, mate, time to take you back to the mental ward now. What's wrong with you? Goddamn email manifesto, Jesus Christ. Thank you for the story, OP. That was one of the stories of all time, absolutely. Our next post is by user Fuchsia Sequence, titled, "Am I the asshole for not allowing my sister-in-law to stay in my empty and unfurnished condo while she's in town? When I, 36 female, and my husband, 37 male, got married 3 years ago, we decided that I would move into his house and keep my condo. While we were dating, we spent time equally between both places. My unit was closer to downtown and attractions in our city, and his house was farther away from everything, but much larger and in a quiet neighborhood. Since my place was nearly paid off and the mortgage is very inexpensive, as I bought it right out of college before the area was as nice as it is now, we decided that it would make sense to use it for our out-of-town guests, parties, or when we were too tired to drive home after a night out. Last month, his sister, 28, asked if she and her girlfriend could come over for a 4th of July weekend and stay at the condo. We agreed. She would drive in from their hometown that Thursday and stay until Monday. Last week, she slipped up and mentioned that she would be having a pride event at my place. At first, she tried to backtrack and say that she would be attending one, but then admitted that she was planning on using my place to throw the party for about 20 people from a Facebook group. I told her absolutely not, and that she and her girlfriend could stay, but no party. We're still in a pandemic, and I don't care if things are opening. My house is not. She called me a hypocrite since my husband and I use it for parties. He and I still refused, so she threw a tantrum and called us homophobes, cancelled the event, and made a post on Facebook about us insinuating, but not stating directly, that we reneged because it was a pride event, which isn't remotely true. My mother-in-law called to find out what was happening, and apparently, my sister-in-law is keeping up the story that we were being homophobic. I called her and told her to find somewhere else to stay, so of course, she got even more irate and made more insulting posts on Facebook about us, saying that she was basically homeless for the weekend and that it's not safe for them to stay in a hotel. I'm not budging, but my husband is trying to keep the peace, saying that we should still let her stay. Sister-in-law and I usually have a very great relationship, so I'm not sure why she's acting so ugly about it. Am I the asshole for reneging on allowing her to stay in my empty condo? In the comments, Princess Programmer says, "Not the asshole. She literally admitted that it's unsafe to be at a hotel right now due to the pandemic, but she's willing to sacrifice the safety of 20 people and you as the owner of the place so that she can throw a party? Make it make sense." Honestly, even if there wasn't a pandemic going on, how rude of her to assume that she can throw a party in someone else's house without asking them. Her comment about them having parties was a diversion because, I'm assuming, the OP hasn't had any parties since the virus started. She's the asshole because she's using homophobia as an excuse when it couldn't be farther from the truth. I hope OP clarifies in these posts. OP says, "Just saw this. No parties since COVID. Last time we were there was February." Well, that's what I figured. So she's definitely the asshole trying to use that as an excuse. Selfish and self-centered. G. Durand says, "Not the asshole. Don't let her stay in the condo, ever. Accusing you of being homophobic because you're not allowing her to have a party during a pandemic is disgusting. This kind of accusation can have big repercussions, and she is being absolutely selfish in doing so. And OP says, I don't want to cancel her completely. I'm sure she was acting out in anger, so I don't want to make a permanent decision out of anger as well. We decided to call her tonight on Zoom so that we can talk face to face. Unsightly Fuzz says, not the asshole, and frankly, sister-in-law is. There's no way me and my girlfriend can automatically extend to having a party. Any party, in your condo, and she only has to be homeless on the 4th of July weekend because she falsely called you homophobic. I see how your husband may feel trapped in the middle, so just make this a you thing and not an us thing. Dig your heels in. Eventually, sister-in-law may learn that you are a reasonable person, or maybe sister-in-law is going to turn out to be someone who uses people a lot. OP says, I think this is driving me crazy because she isn't normally like this. She's a sweet girl, and I've known her since she was a teen. She's not normally a user, so maybe I'm trying to figure out what made her lash out like this. It came out of nowhere. Unsightly Fuzz replies, well, maybe her girlfriend put her up to the party idea, and then once it was announced on social media and she had to cancel the plan, it embarrassed her in front of her friends. OP replies, I hadn't really thought of it like that. I was more focused on being angry at her calling us homophobic than thinking about why she was being crazy. Edit, she accepted the calendar invitation for us to talk, so I'll update later. She sent my husband a text that said talk to you soon. Didn't send me anything, but accepted my invite, so hopefully it goes well. What she did here is a quick way to lose all trust from you two. You don't just get to stay in a condo downtown and then throw a party there, like regardless of if it's the pandemic or not. Didn't even ask if they could throw it. They lied by omission and then it accidentally slipped out and caused this whole fuss. And then obviously I'm beating a dead horse here, but yeah, to say, oh, it's actually the homophobia and I'm gonna slander your name to everyone online that you're being homophobic. That's just such a quick way to get cut out of the good graces of OP, or from, like, their perception of you being family entirely. Like, if you're gonna talk shit, go behind my back, drag my name through the mud, you're no longer family. You've lost family privileges. Honestly, good on OP for extending the olive branch and trying to mend the bridge in this instance, because I would be insanely pissed off if this happened to me and I wouldn't want to do the right thing because of how upset I would be about being slandered. But having a reasonable partner that can help talk you down in instances like this is invaluable. I think you're not the asshole at all for your actions, OP, and you're a bigger person than me right now, that's for sure. And now, onto the update the next day. It was a very long Zoom with me, my husband, sister-in-law, and her girlfriend, but I think we're all on the same page. I decided to let her talk first, and apparently, she took me saying, I don't want those people in my house, to mean something way different than what I intended. She claims she wasn't blowing it out of proportion, but she also says that she knew I didn't mean it in any other way, and she let anger get the best of her. She says she doesn't know why she doubled down once she calmed down, but I suspect the girlfriend egged her on, as she spent most of the call silent. Sister-in-law was very apologetic about being childish and insisted the homophobic comments were in general and not directly about me. She claims that she was having issues with other people as well. But she did apologize for the Facebook posts and has since deleted them. As far as the party is concerned, the girlfriend made the plans and sister-in-law just went with them. It went from being a couple of people for dinner to something bigger, and they were both trying to save face, not realizing or caring how it made my husband and I look. She says she understands the invite being revoked and hoped that I would forgive her. I apologized for using the words "those people" because I do understand that it can be offensive. She and her girlfriend decided that they still would be coming in next week and that they would shorten the trip and pay for a hotel or Airbnb. I'm not sure if they still plan on getting together with their Facebook friends, but I did add my 2 cents and told her that it was a dumb idea. She laughed it off, but something tells me that they're planning on hanging out. We changed the subject immediately after the tears and apologies. I'm glad we spoke. I'm still not completely okay, but I feel much better about sticking to my decision even after she cancelled the party. In the comments, Weasel Panties says, it is absolutely out of pocket, even without the pandemic, to throw a party in someone else's home without asking. like absolutely inappropriate levels of entitlement and overstepping. What's eating me alive is them throwing a party during the pandemic at someone else's house, behind the homeowners' backs no less, lying to them about it, trickle-truthing about it, making OP and her husband drag it out of her, throwing a fit and calling them homophobic about it, posting all of this on social media before they even had a rational conversation about it, and still expecting to be able to stay in the home after that. And then after all of that, she throws her girlfriend under the bus with, I don't know, she planned it, I just went with it. Sister-in-law is hot garbage, and I would cut her ass off so fast, regardless of the lukewarm, milquetoast, see ya apology. They didn't even publicly apologize for their accusations, so I bet there's people out there who know them who think that OP is homophobic. And God forbid those posts are public. It would be easy to connect OP to that with a quick Google search. I wouldn't cut her off, I'd just remember that in the future. Bingo. Forgive but don't forget. And use these actions to influence future decisions regarding sister-in-law. Quote, as far as the party is concerned, the girlfriend made the plans and sister-in-law just went with them. She says she doesn't know why she doubled down once she calmed down, but I suspect the girlfriend egged her on and she spent most of the call silent. It's absolutely this. Girlfriend was taking advantage and sister-in-law didn't want to rock the boat and went along with it despite knowing that it wasn't a good idea and it's something they should have asked for permission first. And since she's the point of contact, she had to speak as if it was also her idea and there is nothing wrong with what they wanted to do. I can bet that's probably a running theme in their relationship. Girlfriend wants to do something, and sister-in-law just goes along with it, or gets coerced despite better judgment. It's just that this time, it resulted in backlash and blowing up in their faces. Honestly, there's so many different ways this can go, and I don't think we can really know unless OP comes back with another update, which I doubt they will do. It's been 5 years. Saying, oh, it was actually the girlfriend that was the problem all along. Oh, it was actually sister-in-law's idea and she was just scapegoating. To me, it's just one big game of he said, she said. But given how all of this played down, I think there's a very good chance that the girlfriend is being controlling behind the scenes, and I'd go as far as to say the girlfriend might have even been the one to post on social media, if that's the case. I'm gonna guess, given the fact that OP is giving sister-in-law the benefit of the doubt, it is uncharacteristic for the sister-in-law to go slandering someone online like that. Otherwise, I imagine OP would have mentioned that sister-in-law has a habit of doing this. That's why I think I'd put money on the fact that all of this was the girlfriend's doing, and the girlfriend is the one that posted online. And of course, there's no actual accountability here, guys. There is not going to be a public apology for the slandering of OP. Surely someone that publicly blasts lies out into the world should have the same energy for retracting those statements and apologizing publicly, right? The apology should be as loud as the disrespect, like, let's be for real here. Anyway, thank you for the story, OP. I hope you're doing a lot better after that fiasco, and I appreciate you nonetheless. Anyway, guys, that's where I'm going to end today's episode. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.